I'm sure you know that cardio can significantly improve your heart health, lung capacity, blood pressure, mental health, and immune system. But you probably didn't know that too much cardio can actually reduce your lifespan. This is just one of the 5 things you probably didn't know about cardio that I'm going to cover in this video. First of all, I just want you to know that this video is not just bashing cardio. Cardio definitely has its place, but when it comes to fat loss, it just shouldn't be your primary focus. And when I talk about cardio in this video, I'm most of the time referring to above 2 sessions of cardio a week, and in some cases, I'm referring to a lot more. But I'm not referring to walking, which I consider cardio. Some people still consider cardio, but the researchers do not consider walking cardio. Number 1, you actually burn less calories following cardio. It's subject to what's known as constrained energy expenditure, meaning that after the cardio, you actually burn less calories doing normal day-to-day things like fidgeting at the desk, just walking around. You're less likely to walk around. You generally burn less calories doing NEAT. That's your non-exercise activity thermogenesis. That's just anything that's not exercise. So overall, throughout the day, you end up burning the same whether you did cardio or you didn't, because you're generally less active. And the harder you go with the cardio, the more likely this is to happen. Number 2, cardio itself is not actually great for fat loss. But you're probably thinking, but I have this friend. I'm not saying you can't lose weight with cardio. What I am saying is that the research, specifically a meta-analysis, actually looked at 1,847 people and found that just cardio may not be effective for weight loss. I can imagine you probably thinking, oh yeah, of course you need a calorie deficit. And I have 2 answers to this. Firstly, in theory, that cardio should have created a calorie deficit. Secondly, a meta-analysis actually looked at either diet, exercise and diet, or exercise alone, and actually found that the diet and diet plus exercise had no real difference in terms of fat loss. And cardio was the only modality of exercise included in the study. And I'm not saying to just scrap cardio, but I'm just saying to reconsider using just cardio to burn fat. Number 3, fasted cardio does not burn more fat. So I used to think, probably like maybe yourself, that fasted cardio will actually burn more fat because you enter it in a more or less carbohydrate depleted state, well, at least slightly depleted state. And then what happens when you burn through the carbohydrate, you just have fat, and then you use body fat for fuel. While that can be the case while you're actually exercising, that doesn't lead to greater fat loss overall. A 2011 study actually found that while you do burn more fat while you're actually doing the exercise, in the 24 hours following it, you burn less, so it balances out. Along with that, a 2017 meta-analysis, which is basically a study of study, looked at fasted versus fed cardio and found no significant difference in the fat burn. So if you prefer to do fasted cardio, do it, but don't do it because you feel like you're going to burn more fat doing it. Number 4, cardio can impair recovery. It obviously depends on how hard you go with the cardio and how often you do it, and obviously the type of cardio. But say, for example, you go for a run, which is the most common form of cardio. You go for a run the day before you're doing a leg session, and then you max out that run. Say you hit like, I don't know, a 7K PR, and then you go the next day into your leg session. It's likely that your leg's going to be a bit sore, your joint's going to be a bit sore, and it's going to impact how much you're able to squat. So it will likely mostly impact your leg development, but overall that's going to impact the amount of muscle you can build. But then there is the problem, obviously, of just general fatigue, which could impact your sleep if you're doing too much cardio, this is. And then that's going to have a knock-on effect, your ability to recover between workouts, and then you're going to build less muscle overall. That's my 2 cents on kind of how cardio can impair muscle growth, for example. But when it comes to what's known as the interference effect, some people talk about this, and it's not actually the case. You can still do cardio alongside a resistance training program and build muscle, so long as you're getting enough fuel, and so long as you're not so long as the cardio is not actually impacting your ability to recover. So the interference effect is not true as per se, but if you go really hard with the cardio, I'm sure you'll experience it in some way, shape or form. For those of you that don't know what the interference effect is, it's basically the theory that when you're chasing two adaptations, which you would be doing cardio and strength training, then you're not going to get either really. That's so you fall somewhere in between. You've obviously got different adaptations to cardio and different adaptations to strength training. Number 5, this is what I started the video with. Cardio can actually shorten your lifespan. Too much cardio to be specific, and probably way more than you're currently doing and will do. It's more at the extreme ends. It didn't actually say, I couldn't find anywhere like how much cardio would do this, but what I did find is that cardio is safe up to, you see a lot of the health benefits up to 150 hours per week. I couldn't find anything beyond that, but a 2020 paper actually found that like too much or daily stressful activity can reduce your lifespan. Like I said, that's not to say that cardio is bad, you should never do cardio, but when you're on a quest to lose as much fat as possible and look the best as possible, you shouldn't be prioritizing cardio. As you may know from my other videos, I'm a big advocate of walking alongside resistance training. Prioritizing those two will make sure you build muscle and you lose fat as well. For most of you, that is possible, but this will at least protect your muscle and protect your strength in terms of nothing too strenuous. Walking is a very low impact form of cardio, but if you still want to do cardio and you're insisting, I want the heart benefits, I want the heart health benefits, the lung benefits, etc., then I suggest doing 2 sessions a week. They can be steady, one can be steady state and one like high intensity interval training, or both can be steady state. It's up to you, but I suggest a maximum of 2. That gives you enough time to fit in your resistance training, fit in your walks without it being overwhelming and something you can't sustain. There can be periods where you increase the amount of cardio you do. Say you've got a few more weeks and you just want to maximize the amount of fat you're losing, you can do that. But you just have to bear in mind, if it's impacting your strength gains and impacting resistance training, it's probably not worth it if you're on a quest to look the best you can possibly look. Anyway, that's all from this video. If you have any questions, comment below. If you haven't clicked that like button, click that like button now. If you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification to be alerted as soon as I post a future video. And if you're a man looking to maximize the amount of muscle you build and the amount of fat you lose, head on over to Facebook and join my free Facebook group, which is growing weekly. And until the next video, keep pushing those limits.